Welcome to HDTV. You now rocking with your boy. In the Detroit news, DNA clears Detroit man of slaying after 26 years in prison. A piece of DNA the size of a grain of salt. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. A piece of DNA the size of a grain of salt is giving a Detroit man his freedom back after prosecutors say he was wrongfully convicted of murder decades ago. Lacino Hamilton walked out of the Maycomb Correctional Facility a free man after a Wayne County judge vacated his conviction for the 1994 slaying of his foster mother, Willa Bias, ending 26 years behind bars. I'm a little overwhelmed, but I'm extremely grateful, Hamilton said during the video hearing before Judge Tracy Green of Wayne County Circuit Court. After leaving the prison, Hamilton was met with hugs at a nearby golf course by the law school students who assisted in the case. Also on hand to celebrate with him was Ramon Ward, who was released from prison in February after being exonerated of a slaying he didn't commit. Hamilton said he first wanted to experience the joy of being able to walk down the street, take a shower, and talk on the phone without interruption from a fellow prisoner. Next, said Hamilton, he wants to begin working on a career in judicial reform and work toward helping reforms in place on the front end so that no one else experiences being imprisoned for something they didn't do. We made the decision long ago to never give up fighting for Mr. Hamilton's release, said Mary Chartier, Hamilton's attorney with the law firm Chartier Niam Fukanza in Okemos. While we are beyond thrilled that he has been exonerated, he lost 26 years of his life waiting for this day. Takura Niamfukaza, Hamilton's co-counsel, added, "This is the culmination of consistent and concerted efforts by many. He believed in us and trusted us with this case in his life." Hamilton, 45, always contended he did not murder the woman he considered more like a biological mother than a foster parent. Bias was discovered shot to death in her Detroit home in June 94, and Hamilton became a suspect partly due to the false testimony of a jailhouse snitch who testified that Hamilton had admitted the slaying, according to Hamilton's lawyers. That man had allegedly made claims against numerous others to get leniency for his own criminal conduct, said Hamilton's lawyers. The lack of DNA testing in Hamilton's case also was a factor. DNA did not become widely used in solving crimes until the mid-1990s. Hamilton, who was 19 at the time, was tried and sentenced in January 96 to 80 years behind bars for second-degree murder and felony firearm charges. He appealed to both the Michigan Court of Appeals and the Michigan Supreme Court to have his conviction overturned, but he was not successful. He wrote 5,000 letters to everyone to get them to take his case. Chartier said, lucky for him, he hit upon Claudia Whitman of the National Capital Assistance Network. The exoneration follows more than 2 decades of Hamilton trying to prove his innocence. His journey began when Whitman began working on his case from her office in Colorado. 2 years ago, Chartier contacted the Wayne County prosecutor's newly formed Conviction Integrity Unit to ask for a review of the case and testing of DNA material scraped from under Bias' fingernails on one hand. Bias fought with her attacker before she was shot to death. Her fingernails were scraped for possible DNA evidence, but the prosecutor and Hamilton's attorney had not been told about it. The testing performed just recently cleared Hamilton. There were swabs from underneath the victim's right and left hand, said Valerie Newman, the director of the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office Conviction Integrity Unit. The swab from underneath the fingernails on the left hand excluded Mr. Hamilton. The case connecting DNA evidence to an exoneration is the first for the 2-year-old unit. Newman said her unit worked on the case for 2 years with assistance from the Western Michigan University Cooley Law School, Innocence Clinic, and Hamilton's defense attorneys. "I think it's great," said Newman. "It's nice to have the science and something concrete and definitive. She said her unit had to do a tremendous amount of work and also locate the DNA evidence, which was still in the possession of Detroit police. Evidence is not always where it should be when you have to do a lot of detective work, Newman said. Green, the judge who dismissed the charges against Hamilton, apologized for the time it took for his case to be resolved. 2 years is a very, very long time to spend in prison, the judge said. I'm sure it's even harder for an innocent man. There are thousands of Mr. and Miss Hamilton sitting in prison, but they don't have the resources to help them, Chartier said. Many of the thousands of men and women who are wrongfully in prison have been convicted based on snitch testimony. Chartier said the case highlights the importance of conviction integrity units, but also the inequity and injustice if the DNA had remained hidden forever. In addition to the previous lack of testing of the DNA, perhaps even more alarming is the woefully improper use of informants in this case by the Detroit Police Department. Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy said, the use of informants can be a very valuable tool in fighting crime and seeking justice, but in this case it was used and abused horribly. Chartier said, Hamilton is coming out of prison as such a powerful voice in the effort to free more wrongfully convicted individuals. Metro Detroit attorney Wolf Mueller, who has worked with many of exonerated individuals, called Hamilton's release another success story within CIU and the work they are doing. I cannot believe this mess, man. I can't believe it. I cannot believe this. This man spent 26 years in prison. And this just go to show you, black people, my black men and black women, that we really ain't it. We are not it. And that's SH, you know how to fill that in. This man was in prison and they went off of a snitch. They didn't do no research, but this is what happens. And this is why we get fed up. And the pink folk, I just want the pink folk to understand. We have a right to have a gripe with the law. We have a right to not believe in the system because the system is broken. It's broken, it's been broken, and this is a perfect example. I know I do a lot of sports stuff on my channel, but I do other things too. I'm going to have an astronomy story later. I just love doing different things. I'm just doing a lot of sports at this time because there's a lot of sports going on, the NBA Finals. Check that video out. Buckets stepped up and LeBrownies froze out AD. So check that out. And if you come to my page, I don't have a problem if you're pink folk or you're Spanish or you're black. Come respectable and come with your opinion. Don't come disrespectful. But in this case, this is why I get upset. And I don't like pink folk, and I say that. And I don't want pink folk to feel like, okay, because I don't like them, that if I saw them in public, I would just go slap the hell out of them or I would curse them out. No, I wouldn't do that. I'm very respectable. I was taught manners. I just don't deal with you guys on a certain aspect, like when it comes to race or talking about racial inequality, talking about the way that the economy is bent towards you more than us. I don't get in that discussion with you because you guys don't see it from our point of view. And that's fine. It's not your fault. It's not pink folk fault that they're savages or they're really the ones who are the animals and the monkeys and the killers, but yet they just want to make every black person bad. Now, when we make every pink folk bad, they get mad at us and be like, "No, we're not like that. We're not like that at all. Don't do that. We go out to we can go get some burgers, fries, or something. We can have a barbecue together." Yeah, they try everything they can to try to coerce things or try to make things all nice and fluffy. And that's cool and all, but look, this is what we go through being black. We get arrested for just being black. We get stopped for just being black. We go to the bathroom in a store They watching us to see if we're gonna steal something to go to that bathroom. Now, every black person is not innocent. We understand that. But the ones that are innocent, you still treat like criminals, which is very disrespectful and very wrong. The whole Detroit Police Department should get fined. This guy should sue them for wrongfully arresting him because they had to do DNA tests because DNA test wasn't available 26 years ago like that, I believe. They didn't really take the time to look at the case. They just went off of this person, this one snitch. Oh, well, he did it, so they can basically help themselves. And I bet he was a white guy, or he was a white guy, because if he was black, they would have said a black man. That's how you know if the report is a white person or a black person. They'll mention if it's a black person or a Hispanic person, but if they're white, they'll just say that person or that man. I mean that woman. They won't say black or white or they won't say black or Hispanic or that. They will say just that man or woman. You have to look at key words like that. Those are things they try to psychologically screw you with and try to leave you blind. But to me, that's unacceptable. I'm glad he's getting out of jail. He's basically going to help get other people out of jail. Out of prison. I said jail. Get people out of prison and, help them get out of their cases because a lot of them have been wrongfully accused. But people, seriously, be safe out there, my fellow black men and women. Be safe because you don't know what tomorrow could bring. You could be wrongfully killed, you could be wrongfully arrested, you could be wrongfully profiled. I just thank God every day I'm able to get home to see my family and to see everybody I love, because it's hard out here for black men and women. Black men have it tough and black women have it tough as well. So I don't want black women to feel like we don't know they have it tough, but we have it tough too. Just being a black man is tough in America. We're so susceptible to get hurt or to get wrongfully accused. And this is messed up. This is really sad. This is sad. I'm very upset that this happened. I hope for I hope he gets his justice. I hope he's able to live his life. He seems like a nice dude, seeing some pictures of him. And I just hope, man, he continues helping kids and let them know what's going on, how the world works and how they be profiled. And I hope he free as many wrongfully accused people as he can. Thank you for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, share this. Hit the notification bell to select all to receive upcoming content. And if you want to donate to the page, cash at me at welcome to HDTV. That's the word welcome, the number 2, then HDIITV. And that's my cash app. You could donate anytime. If you don't donate, just like and comment, subscribe, and share this to everybody on your platforms. Thank you for listening, man. We out. Live boy.